Okay, well, we're going to talk about the innovation courses that Mike Parsons and I have designed and run over the last 8 years. I've been working with Mike now for 12 years, and we originally began collaborating on a book on innovation in the outdoor industry. Mike has 40 years experience as an industrialist. He's not an academic, so it's very much a new combination of knowledge, the collaboration of a businessman and an academic. And out of the book grew our courses. Mike, as a businessman, what attracted you to working with me as an academic on a course in innovation?
Well, first of all, we'd worked together for 3 years writing a book in a collaborative way, and that was, to my surprise, enormously interesting. And so when you invited me to co-design a course on innovation, I jumped at the opportunity. It was an amazing opportunity. So we have very multinational, multicultural groups for our MSc course. Well, Mary, what benefits do you think there are for students on this sort of course with such multiculturality?
I find it enormously exciting. We have students from all over the world on the MSc in e-business. And what those students bring is different perspectives. Whenever we're looking at a concept, whether it's innovation or concepts within innovation, we get them to think of it, well, how does this work in your country? And I think also it brings an awareness of conditions, circumstances in other parts of the world that makes the analysis on the course extremely rich. You're very much the driving force behind having a course that brings the analysis of innovation right up to date. Why do you think it's so important for students to study a course in innovation, to look at innovations that are happening now?
Well, first of all, being in business, you need to be mildly paranoid about what your competitors might do to your product or services, either by creating more competitive products or even disruptive products. And so what this course does is each team has to submit on a weekly basis an innovation that they have found in the press. And we discuss this. It's projected on the screen so that it opens it up to the whole class for discussion in a number of different directions and perspectives. And at the end of the term, we find we have discussed 150 innovations. And the student feedback we get is that this is really, really enlightening. It embeds the learning within their heads.
So do you find you learn a lot from the students? I certainly do.
Oh, definitely. It's so interesting to hear such differences in cultural perspectives. Gives you a very, very good, better learning background than simply discussing things within a UK context. So, how do students learn on this course, Marian, do you think, and why are lectures such a small part?
Yes, I mean, when we were designing the course, we felt that to run a course on innovation and talk at the students, which is potentially quite a passive activity for the students, was not going to enable them to cross boundaries. So what we do, we use a range of methods. We use a virtual learning environment where we provide the students with the building blocks, things we call background syntheses, which are syntheses of the theory, which they then discuss around a set of questions in their small work groups. They then feed back their findings each week to the virtual learning environment to form the basis of part of the discussion in our workshops. So their learning is very much based around peer-to-peer learning. They're learning from each other. And then we also encourage individual reflection through learning logs where they're applying the theory they've learnt to practical examples.
So what do you think are the benefits of linking theory and practice in an analysis?
Well, obviously, in a university course in innovation, you need to introduce theoretical concepts to help students make sense of the complexities of innovation and also help them to analyse, because what we don't want them to do is just describe. We want them to use concepts to inform analysis. And so by linking, giving them a good grounding in theory, but also spending half of every workshop looking at practice, we're getting them much closer to understanding the world of business. I mean, what do you think about it, Mike?
Yes, I think it's an absolutely critical aspect, and indeed, I now understand much more clearly what I was doing in my first generation business and applied that learning to my second generation businesses. Very, very fruitful indeed.
So we encourage group work. It's one of the core parts of our course, and you were very keen to help students realise the importance of collaborative software. What do you see the role of collaborative software in our course?
Well, first of all, I think that companies more and more are going towards collaborative software. It's happening, so we think that students need to have this experience. But secondly, we don't think that working with what we now term as the old-fashioned Word documents is the right way to go. We don't think it's possible to produce the right sort of results. Half of the marks are for team working, and you can't do that in an individual document environment. It just simply doesn't work. But this also gives them lots of experience in collaborative working, which is excellent.
And why do you think team working is so important to the success of our course? Because you can see from that photo just how engaged with each other the students become.
Yes, what I've seen over many years is hiring really good students is that it takes them a considerable while to establish themselves and embed themselves within any company working environment, because those working environments are effectively work groups of varying types, and some of them will be quite strong teams. And so a team is not simply a collection of individuals, it's much greater than the sum of the individuals. So the qualities of the team working being submitted is very high and indeed surprising. So, Mary, why have we encouraged the students to perform and contribute on a weekly basis? That's quite unusual in an academic situation.
Well, we do have an unusual format in this course because typically we know from years of experience that students do the bulk of their work just before a deadline, just before an exam, and don't engage to the intensity that they do on our course on a week-by-week basis. So what we're encouraging them to do, to work effectively, to understand innovation holistically, they need to be doing something every week. So we're encouraging them to, they're working together outside the workshop. They post their findings for each week's theory contribution on the virtual learning environment, and we go through what they've posted, their responses to a set of questions around a particular theme, and select the best for each week. In other words, we're encouraging best practice. And we post the examples of the best, the groups who have handled questions best on the virtual learning environment for all to see, with comments around why this is good. What it does is encourage healthy competition, so that although there's a very collaborative environment in the workshop, they're sharing their findings, they're aspiring to achieve. And we don't mark every piece of work, though there is an overall mark for performance in the workshops, but we reward them with a packet of biscuits for the best performance. And this creates a very, very friendly environment of competition, which we believe is really, really important.
Yes, taking the biscuits is important.
And we thought it would be interesting just to give you an overview of the thinking behind the course. This is very much, as we've explained, a course that brings together theory and practice. It's a course about the collaboration of a businessman and an academic. It's a course about active learning. You can't hide in the back row. You can't keep quiet in our course. And students benefit from that by being so intensely interactive. It helps them in interview situations. And so it's a combination of the online, using the virtual learning environment and the virtual learning environment forum, alongside face-to-face workshops. And to encourage individual learning, the students keep an individual academic learning log. We're encouraging holistic learning, we're encouraging boundary crossing, the boundary crossing by collaborating with others, the holistic learning by actually working actively on the course all the way through it. And we're bringing together the students on the course, working in their groups, working together and working with us through team working and collaboration, and using collaborative software to achieve that. And the students are consistently learning from each other, learning from us, we're learning from them, and they're learning individually as well as collectively. I think that's it.